Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever stopped to wonder what could happen if you redirected all that energy you spend worrying about others, their opinions, their success, their judgments, and turned it inward? What if for once you became the main character of your own story? Imagine living in a world where your every thought, every ounce of your attention, had the power to shape your reality. What if the secret to achieving everything you've ever dreamed of was as simple and as difficult as learning to control your focus? Most people spend their days looking outward, consumed by the noise of the world. They scroll through social media, compare themselves to others, and seek validation from people who have no role in their destiny. They chase after trends, opinions, and approval, hoping that somehow in that chase they will find themselves. But that path only leads to frustration, self doubt, and exhaustion. True power comes when you learn to turn your gaze inward. When you shift your focus from the outside world to your inner world, everything changes. Your energy follows your attention. If you focus on fear, doubt, and insecurity, those emotions grow stronger. If you focus on growth, faith, and self belief, those qualities begin to dominate your experience. The world around you may remain chaotic, but your inner world becomes a place of clarity, strength, and peace. This is not just motivational talk, it is a principle grounded in both neuroscience and spiritual truth. Your brain operates like a filtering system. It processes thousands of bits of information every second, but it only highlights what you deem important. If you constantly think, I'm not good enough, your mind will search for proof to support that belief. But if you train your mind to think, I am capable, I am enough, and I have everything I need within me, then your brain will work just as hard to find evidence of that truth. The challenge is that many people have allowed their focus to be hijacked. The world is filled with distractions that are designed to steal your attention. Advertisements, social media, news feeds, and even the opinions of friends and family can pull you away from your vision. Every notification, every criticism, every moment spent looking at someone else's life is energy that could have been invested in your own growth. The result? People feel drained, unmotivated, and confused about their purpose. They wonder why success seems so far away. But success is not distant, it is closer than you think. It's not about working harder, it's about focusing smarter. The energy within you is a finite resource. You only have so much to give each day, and every second you spend focused on things that don't serve you is energy you'll never get back. This is why focus is so powerful. It's like sunlight passing through a magnifying glass. When scattered, the sun's rays are warm but harmless. But when focused, those same rays can create fire. Your energy works the same way. When you allow your focus to be scattered across every distraction that comes your way, you remain warm, but nothing ignites. But when you direct that energy to a single point, your dream, your goal, your purpose, you create a fire so powerful that it becomes unstoppable. To master your focus, you must be intentional. It starts with a decision. No one can do it for you. You have to choose every single day what deserves your attention and what does not. This is not easy because the world has conditioned you to believe that everything is urgent and requires an immediate response. But here's the truth, not everything matters. Most of what grabs your attention is irrelevant to your growth. You don't have to respond to every comment, attend every event, or consume every piece of information. Your power lies in your ability to say no. Every no to a distraction is a yes to your dream. People often underestimate the power of small moments of focus. They think I'll focus when I have more time, or I'll focus when life slows down, but life never slows down on its own. It accelerates. The longer you wait to claim control of your focus, the more difficult it becomes. The good news is that you don't need hours of uninterrupted time to make progress. Even 10 minutes of undivided attention toward your dream every day can shift your reality. It's not about the quantity of time, but the quality of attention. 10 minutes of pure, focused energy is far more valuable than an hour of half hearted effort. When you focus completely, your mind enters a state of flow where creativity, insight, and solutions come with ease. But most people never experience this flow state because they never give themselves a chance to. They live in a world of constant interruptions, and their minds never fully engage with any one task. They start something, then check their phone. They begin a project, then worry about someone else's opinion. Their energy is divided, and divided energy creates divided results. If you've ever felt like you were putting in a lot of effort but seeing little progress, it's likely because your focus was scattered. You were moving in too many directions at once. Progress requires alignment. When every part of you, your thoughts, your emotions, your energy is aligned toward one goal, Momentum builds. That's when results start to show up faster than you ever expected. One of the greatest mistakes people make is thinking they need more resources to achieve their dreams. They believe they need more time, more money, more support, or more talent. But none of that matters if your focus is weak. There are people with fewer resources who achieve far more because they understand the power of focused energy. They don't have more time, but they make the most of every moment they have. They don't have all the answers, but they trust that clarity will come as they move forward. Their secret, they don't allow distractions to rob them of their attention. They guard their focus with the same intensity that a mother protects her child. If you want to create a breakthrough in your life, you must do the same. You must protect your focus as if your future depends on it, because it does. Every time you sit down to work on your dream, distractions will call for you. Notifications will pop up. Doubt will whisper in your mind. Fear will try to convince you to quit. And in those moments, you have a choice. Will you surrender to the distraction, or will you remain committed to your vision? Each choice matters. Each choice determines the direction of your energy. When you choose to focus, you send a message to the universe that you are serious about your dream. You tell life, I am ready for more. What happens next is powerful. Opportunities begin to show up. Solutions appear where there were once obstacles. People you never expected to meet suddenly enter your life. It's not luck, it's alignment. When you focus your energy on something, you activate the creative force that moves mountains. This is why focus is one of the most valuable skills you can master. It is not just about getting things done. It is about becoming the person who no longer chases dreams but attracts them. Many people will hear this message and think it sounds simple, but it's not that easy, and they're right. It's not easy, but it's worth it. The hardest part is not focusing for one day, but maintaining that focus over time. It's about showing up even when you feel tired. It's about staying consistent, even when results are not immediate. This is where most people give up. They start strong but falter when it gets uncomfortable. But those who stay committed experience something most people never will: transformation. They become people who no longer depend on motivation because they've built discipline. They've trained their minds to focus on what matters and release everything else. There is a version of you that already knows this truth. Deep down, you know that every dream you've ever had is still within reach. Every person starts with a dream, a goal, or a vision for their life. But what separates those who achieve it from those who don't is not luck, talent, or even hard work. It is the ability to eliminate distractions and prioritize the vision. In a world filled with noise, the greatest challenge is not having more time, but learning how to protect the time you already have. Most people don't fail because they lack effort, they fail because their attention is divided. Their energy is pulled in too many directions, leaving them exhausted but unaccomplished. To achieve your dreams, you must learn to remove the unnecessary and give your full attention to the essential. This is the power of prioritizing your vision. Every day, you are presented with a choice. You can either focus on what matters or get caught up in what doesn't. Distractions come in many forms: social media, gossip, other people's opinions, even your own doubts and fears. They seem small, harmless even, but over time they rob you of your most valuable resource, your attention. Attention is the currency of achievement. Where you place it determines what grows in your life. If you constantly place it on things that have no value, your results will reflect that. But if you direct your attention toward your vision with laser-like precision, you activate a force that most people never experience: momentum. Momentum is the invisible energy that makes hard things feel easy. It's that feeling when progress becomes effortless and you begin to experience breakthroughs that seemed impossible before. But momentum only comes when focus is sustained. It doesn't show up for people who dabble or approach their dreams casually. It shows up for those who are willing to cut out the noise and give their goals the attention they deserve. This is where most people struggle. They want the results, but they don't want to make the sacrifices required to get them. They hold on to distractions because, on some level, those distractions feel comfortable. It's easier to scroll through your phone than it is to face the hard work required to achieve greatness. But the longer you stay comfortable, the further you drift from your dream. Eliminating distractions does not mean isolating yourself from the world. It means being intentional about what you allow into your space. It means recognizing that not every message needs a reply. Not every invitation needs a yes, and not every opinion deserves a response. People pleasing is one of the greatest distractions of all. Many people live their lives trying to meet the expectations of others, and in doing so, they lose sight of their own path. They spend time trying to prove their worth to people who aren't even watching. But when you prioritize your vision, you realize that your worth is not up for debate. You stop explaining yourself to people who don't matter. You stop attending every event that doesn't serve your growth. You stop giving your time to people who drain you, and you protect your peace like it's sacred because it is. One of the most powerful shifts you can make is learning to say no. It sounds simple, but it's one of the hardest lessons for people to learn. No feels uncomfortable because it comes with the fear of missing out or disappointing others. But every no to a distraction is a yes to your vision. Saying no to distractions means saying yes to your dreams, yes to your growth, yes to your evolution. It's about understanding that you cannot be everything to everyone and still have enough energy left for yourself. When you spread yourself too thin, you lose the power of focus. Your energy is like water, and your dream is the seed. If you water every plant in the garden equally, none of them get enough to grow. But if you concentrate all that water on the seed of your dream, it has a chance to flourish. One of the most common distractions people face is the illusion of busyness. Many people mistake being busy for being productive. They fill their days with endless tasks, checking off to-do lists, but at the end of the day, they feel no closer to their dream. Productivity is not about doing more, it's about doing what matters. There is a difference between movement and progress. Movement keeps you in the same place, like a rocking chair, while progress takes you forward. The only way to ensure progress is to identify your vision and prioritize it above everything else. Ask yourself daily, is this action moving me closer to my goal, or is it just keeping me busy? If it's not moving you closer, then it's a distraction. Another silent distraction is comparison. Looking at the success of others can drain your energy faster than anything else. Social media makes it easier than ever to compare your journey to someone else's highlight reel. But comparison is a thief. It steals your joy, your confidence, and your clarity. When you constantly measure yourself against others, you forget that your path is unique. You lose sight of your own timeline and begin to chase someone else's. But when you prioritize your vision, you remember that you are running your own race. The only person you need to be better than is the person you were yesterday. No one else's timeline matters. No one else's taste matters. The only thing that matters is that you stay focused on your path. Prioritizing your vision also requires discipline. Discipline is not about motivation, it's about commitment. Motivation is temporary. It's the excitement you feel at the beginning of a new journey. But that excitement wears off when things get hard. Discipline, however, is what carries you through when excitement fades. Discipline means doing the work, even when you don't feel like it. It means getting up early, staying consistent, and pushing forward, even when progress feels slow. The people who achieve greatness aren't always the most talented or the most gifted. They are simply the ones who keep going when everyone else stops. They are the ones who protect their focus and refuse to be pulled in 1,000 directions. Sometimes distractions don't come from the outside world, they come from within. Self doubt, fear, and limiting beliefs are some of the most destructive distractions of all. When you doubt your ability to achieve something, your brain finds reasons to support that doubt. It tells you that you're not good enough, that it's too late, or that you're not ready. But these are just stories, they are not the truth. The truth is that you have everything you need within you. The problem is not your ability, it's your belief. When you prioritize your vision, you don't have time to entertain doubt. You train your mind to focus on possibilities instead of limitations. You remind yourself that fear is not a sign to stop, it's a sign that you're growing. Prioritizing your vision is not something you do once. It's something you do every day. It's a decision you make moment by moment. It's about being mindful of where your energy is going and asking, is this helping me grow or is it pulling me away from my dream? It requires self-awareness and self-honesty. You have to be willing to face your distractions head on and take control of them before they take control of you. This is not easy, but it is necessary. If you want to achieve what others can't, you have to do what others won't. Most people won't prioritize their vision because it requires discomfort. It requires letting go of old habits, people, and environments that no longer serve them. But every time you release a distraction, you make room for something greater. The truth is, you already know what you need to do. Deep down, you know which habits are helping you and which ones are holding you back. You know which people are supporting your vision and which ones are keeping you stuck. The question is, will you have the courage to make the change? Will you have the courage to say no to what no longer serves you so you can say yes to what does? The moment you make that decision, everything begins to shift. Suddenly, you realize that you don't have to do everything. You only have to do what matters. You don't have to follow every trend. You only have to follow your purpose. And when you prioritize that purpose, the world begins to respond. Opportunities show up, resources appear, progress becomes visible. But none of this happens until you make that choice, the choice to eliminate distractions and prioritize your vision. Every person has within them the potential to create a reality that aligns with their deepest desires. The problem is, most people don't realize that their energy follows their attention. Wherever your focus goes, energy flows, and whatever you give energy to will inevitably grow. This principle is simple, but it is often misunderstood. People spend large portions of their lives focusing on what they fear, what they lack, or what they don't want, and then they wonder why those very things keep showing up in their lives. The truth is, your life is a reflection of where your mind has been focused. If you want to change your reality, you must first change your focus. When you focus on yourself and your dreams, you activate a powerful force within you, the power of intentional creation. This is not just positive thinking, it's about rewiring your brain to see possibilities where others see limitations. The human brain is designed to seek out evidence for whatever you believe. If you believe that success is impossible for you, your brain will find reasons to support that belief. If you believe that you are destined for greatness, your brain will look for signs that confirm it. This is known as the reticular activating system, RAS, a part of the brain that filters information and determines what gets your attention. The RAS doesn't distinguish between positive and negative, it only follows your dominant thoughts. If you train your mind to focus on your dreams, the RAS will begin to filter out distractions and bring opportunities to your attention. Focusing on yourself and your dreams requires self awareness. Most people go through life on autopilot, reacting to circumstances instead of creating them. They allow external events to dictate their thoughts, emotions, and actions. But when you focus on yourself, you shift from being reactive to being proactive. You begin to realize that you are not a victim of your environment, you are the creator of it. Self awareness is the first step in this process. It requires you to become conscious of your thoughts and recognize the ones that are not serving you. Self awareness allows you to identify limiting beliefs, negative self talk, and mental patterns that keep you stuck. Once you become aware of these mental blocks, you can begin to change them. Most people fail to focus on themselves because they are too busy focusing on others. They compare their lives to the lives of people around them, measuring their progress against someone else's timeline. This comparison trap is one of the greatest enemies of self focus. Social media has amplified this problem, making it easy to see other people's highlights while hiding their struggles. But comparison is a distraction. It takes your attention away from your unique path and convinces you that you're behind. The truth is, you are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be for your own journey. When you focus on yourself, you stop looking sideways and start looking forward. You realize that no one else has your unique combination of experiences, talents, and gifts. You stop competing with others and start collaborating with your own potential. To focus on yourself and your dreams, you must develop mental discipline. Discipline is the bridge between intention and reality. Without it, even the best plans fall apart. Mental discipline means training your mind to stay present, to resist distractions, and to maintain clarity on your goals. It's easy to be focused when things are going well, but true discipline is tested during moments of doubt, fear, and uncertainty. When your mind starts to wander toward fear based thoughts, discipline pulls you back. It reminds you that you are capable, that your dreams are worth pursuing, and that challenges are just part of the process. Discipline is built through repetition. The more you practice focusing on your dreams, the stronger your mental discipline becomes. Eventually, it becomes second nature to stay focused, even when everything around you is trying to pull you off course. Focusing on yourself and your dreams also requires you to master your emotional state. Emotions are energy in motion, and they play a key role in the manifestation of your reality. Negative emotions like doubt, fear, and frustration drain your energy, while positive emotions like joy, gratitude, and confidence amplify it. Most people allow their emotions to control them, but you must learn to control your emotions if you want to achieve your dreams. This doesn't mean suppressing your feelings, it means becoming aware of them and choosing how to respond. When doubt arises, instead of feeding it, you observe it and shift your attention back to your goals. When fear shows up, you recognize it as a signal that you are stepping out of your comfort zone, and that's a good thing. Emotional mastery is about choosing to feel empowered, even in the face of uncertainty. Focusing on yourself also means setting boundaries. Not everyone will understand your vision, and that's okay. Some people will try to discourage you, not because they doubt you, but because they doubt themselves. If you listen to them, you risk internalizing their fears as your own. Boundaries protect your energy and your focus. They help you say no to distractions and yes to your dreams. Setting boundaries is not about being rude or selfish, it's about honoring your purpose. It's about recognizing that your time, attention, and energy are limited resources, and they must be invested wisely. When you focus on yourself, you realize that you don't need the approval of others to move forward. You give yourself permission to prioritize your goals, even if it means disappointing people who don't understand your journey. One of the most important aspects of focusing on yourself and your dreams is learning to visualize them clearly. Visualization is a mental rehearsal that allows you to see and feel your success before it happens. Athletes use visualization to prepare for competition. Entrepreneurs use it to map out their business goals, and artists use it to bring creative ideas to life. When you visualize your dreams, you activate the same neural pathways in your brain as if you were actually living them. Your brain doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality, so it begins to adjust your actions and decisions to match the vision you've created. This is why it's essential to be intentional about the images you hold in your mind. If you constantly imagine failure, your brain will work to bring that reality into existence. But if you consistently visualize success, you prime your mind to take the actions necessary to achieve it. Your environment also plays a critical role in your ability to focus on yourself and your dreams. If you surround yourself with people, places, and media that drain your energy, it becomes harder to stay focused. On the other hand, if you create an environment that supports your growth, focus becomes effortless. Your environment is more than just your physical space, it's the mental space you create as well. The books you read, the conversations you have, and the content you consume all shape your mental environment. If you want to focus on your dreams, you must audit your environment and remove anything that is not aligned with your vision. This might mean letting go of relationships that no longer serve you, avoiding negative media, or creating a dedicated space for deep work and reflection. Focusing on yourself and your dreams is not selfish, it is self honoring. It's a declaration that you believe in your potential enough to protect it. It's an acknowledgement that you are worthy of success, growth, and fulfillment. Many people have been conditioned to believe that putting themselves first is wrong, but the truth is, you cannot pour from an empty cup. When you focus on yourself, you fill your cup first, and from that overflow, you are able to give to others. It's only by honoring your own dreams that you can inspire others to honor theirs. The people who change the world are not the ones who conform to its distractions, they are the ones who focus so deeply on their vision that the world has no choice but to take notice. To master the power of focusing on yourself and your dreams, you must develop patience. Dreams don't happen overnight. They require time, effort, and perseverance. The journey is often filled with setbacks, delays, and moments of doubt. But patience is what allows you to keep going. It reminds you that every seed takes time to grow. And just because you don't see progress on the surface doesn't mean growth isn't happening below. When you focus on yourself, you trust the process. You recognize that every small action you take is adding up to something greater. You learn to celebrate progress, not just results. Patience allows you to maintain your focus even when results are not immediate. It gives you the strength to stay the course when others give up. Focusing on yourself and your dreams is a lifelong commitment. It is not something you do once and forget about. It is a practice that requires constant realignment and rededication. It's about remembering why you started and holding that reason close, especially on days when it feels easier to quit. Every day is an opportunity to refocus your energy, refine your vision, and remind yourself of your purpose. The world will always try to pull your attention in 1,000 different directions, but you have the power to choose where it goes. When you choose to focus on yourself and your dreams, you choose growth, evolution, and the fulfillment of your potential. Belief is the foundation of every great achievement. Without belief, dreams remain distant fantasies and potential remains untapped. When you believe in yourself, you activate a force within you that allows you to break through limitations and achieve what once seemed impossible. self belief is not about arrogance or false confidence. It's about having a deep, unshakable trust in your ability to overcome obstacles and reach your goals. People who achieve greatness do so not because they have fewer challenges, but because they refuse to be defined by them. They hold a belief so strong that no setback, no failure, and no criticism can shake it. This level of belief is a skill, not an inborn trait. It can be cultivated, strengthened, and expanded. Many people fail to achieve their dreams because they don't believe they are worthy of success. They carry around stories from their past experiences of failure, rejection, and doubt, and these stories shape their identity. They tell themselves, I'm not good enough for successes for other people. Not for me. These beliefs are like invisible chains that hold people back from stepping into their full potential. But here's the truth: beliefs are not facts. They are thoughts that have been repeated so often that they feel like the truth. If you can shift your thoughts, you can shift your beliefs. And when you shift your beliefs, you change your life. Belief is a mental construct, and it is entirely within your control. Self belief is built through evidence. Every time you face a challenge and overcome it, you provide your mind with proof that you are capable. The more evidence you collect, the stronger your belief becomes. But here's the key: you don't have to wait for big, life changing wins to build belief. Every small victory counts. Every time you honor a commitment to yourself, you reinforce the belief that you can be trusted. Every time you step outside of your comfort zone, even if you don't succeed, you show yourself that you have courage. Belief grows through action. It's not something you wait to feel, it's something you create by doing. The more you take action, the more evidence you collect, and the stronger your belief becomes. Your environment plays a significant role in shaping your beliefs. If you surround yourself with people who doubt you, criticize you, or project their own fears onto you, it becomes harder to believe in yourself. Their voices start to echo in your mind, and you begin to question your path. But if you surround yourself with people who uplift you, support you, and challenge you to grow, your belief strengthens. This is why community matters. You must be intentional about the people, media, and information you allow into your life. If you are constantly exposed to negativity, your belief will be weakened. But if you surround yourself with positivity, growth oriented people, and inspiring stories, you will naturally begin to believe that more is possible for you. Environment is everything. You can't grow a thriving garden in toxic soil. Likewise, you can't cultivate belief in yourself if you're surrounded by doubt, fear, and negativity. One of the most powerful ways to build self belief is through visualization. Visualization is not just daydreaming, it is a deliberate mental rehearsal of your success. When you visualize yourself achieving your dreams, your brain begins to rewire itself to believe that the outcome is possible. Studies have shown that the brain cannot distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. This is why athletes visualize themselves winning before they compete. They see it, feel it, and experience it in their minds before it happens in reality. This process strengthens the neural pathways associated with success, making it easier to achieve in real life. You can use the same process to strengthen your belief. Take a few minutes each day to close your eyes, breathe deeply, and visualize yourself achieving your dreams. See it in detail. Feel the emotions you would feel. The more vivid the experience, the more your mind will begin to believe that it's real. Fear is one of the greatest enemies of self-belief. It whispers, what if you fail, or what if you're not good enough? But fear is a liar. It thrives on uncertainty and the unknown. The only way to defeat fear is to face it head on. Every time you face your fears, you weaken their grip on you. People often wait for fear to disappear before taking action, but that's not how it works. Fear doesn't go away on its own. It shrinks only when you move toward it. The more you confront it, the more you realize that fear is just an illusion. It's not as powerful as it pretends to be. In fact, fear can become a guide. If you feel afraid of something, it's often a sign that you're stepping into new territory. And new territory is where growth happens. Use fear as a compass, not a roadblock. When you do, you'll find that belief grows stronger every time you overcome it. Another crucial element of self belief is self talk. The conversations you have with yourself are some of the most important conversations of your life. If you constantly criticize yourself, doubt yourself, or call yourself names, you are eroding your belief from within. But if you learn to speak to yourself with kindness, encouragement, and compassion, you build unshakable self belief. Self talk is like the inner soundtrack of your mind playing on loop every day. Most people are unaware of how harsh they are with themselves. They would never speak to a friend the way they speak to themselves. But the good news is you can change your self talk. It starts with awareness. Pay attention to the thoughts you have about yourself. When you catch a negative thought, like, I'll never be able to do this, replace it with a more empowering thought, like, I am learning and growing every day. This simple shift may seem small, but it has a profound impact on your belief. Over time, your self talk becomes your inner cheerleader instead of your inner critic. One of the most misunderstood aspects of belief is that it doesn't require certainty. Many people think they have to be 100% certain before they can take action. But belief doesn't mean having all the answers, it means having faith despite the unknowns. If you wait for certainty, you'll never start. Belief is taking the first step without knowing where the whole path leads. It's trusting that the path will reveal itself as you move forward. People who wait for absolute certainty before pursuing their dreams never get started. But those who act in faith, even with doubt in their minds, build belief along the way. Action breeds clarity, not the other way around. You don't have to know everything to begin. You just have to believe that you are capable of figuring it out as you go. This is the essence of belief, not knowing everything, but trusting yourself to handle whatever comes next. Lastly, belief requires patience. People often give up on their dreams because they expect instant results. When progress is slow, they think they failed and their belief crumbles. But belief is about trusting the process even when you can't see the results yet. A seed doesn't sprout the moment it's planted. It spends time growing roots underground before it ever breaks the surface. The same is true for your dreams. Just because you can't see the growth doesn't mean it isn't happening. The key is to maintain belief even when you don't see immediate progress. Patience is what allows belief to endure. It gives you the strength to keep going, to keep watering the seed, even when there's no visible sign of growth. Belief requires you to trust the unseen, to have faith that your efforts are not in vain. It's about playing the long game, knowing that every small step is moving you closer to your dreams. Belief is not something that others can give you. No one can hand you self belief on a silver platter. It is something you must build for yourself. It is forged in moments of doubt, tested in moments of fear, and strengthened in moments of courage. The people who achieve their dreams are not the ones who never doubt themselves, they are the ones who believe in themselves even when doubt creeps in. They understand that belief is a practice, not a feeling. It's a decision you make daily. It's a choice to trust yourself, even when the path is unclear. You have the power to strengthen your belief. You have the power to change the story you tell yourself. And when you do, you become unstoppable. Your dreams are waiting for you to believe in them. Your potential is waiting for you to claim it. And once you do, there is nothing that can stand in your way. Focusing on your dreams requires unwavering discipline. Discipline is the bridge between goals and achievement. It's what separates those who wish from those who do. No one reaches greatness by accident. Every success story, every breakthrough, every person who defies the odds, they all have one thing in common: discipline. It's not talent, luck, or chance that shapes their destiny. It's the ability to remain committed to their vision, even when it's hard, uncomfortable, or inconvenient. Discipline is the ability to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. Feelings are temporary, but discipline is permanent. It's the force that carries you forward when motivation fades, when doubt creeps in, and when everything in you wants to quit. If you want to achieve your dreams, you must master the art of self discipline. It's not negotiable, it's the non negotiable price of success. Discipline requires you to break free from the illusion of comfort. Most people stay in their comfort zones because it's safe and familiar. But dreams don't live in comfort zones, growth doesn't happen there. Discipline is about stepping beyond what feels safe and walking into the unknown. It's about pushing yourself to do what others won't so you can achieve what others can't. It's about waking up earlier, working harder, and staying focused longer than you ever thought possible. When others are sleeping, you're working. When others are distracted, you're locked in. Discipline isn't glamorous, and it's not easy. It's lonely at times. It's repetitive. It's mundane. But it's in that repetition, in that daily grind, that you shape your future self. Every day you stay disciplined, you're casting a vote for the person you're becoming, you're building habits that align with your dreams, you're training your mind to prioritize growth over comfort, progress over pleasure. The hardest part of discipline is consistency. Anybody can be disciplined for a day or a week, but real power comes when you maintain it for months, years, even decades. Consistency beats intensity every time. It's not about how hard you go one day, it's about how long you stay committed. Many people start strong but fade quickly because they rely on bursts of motivation. But motivation is temporary. It comes and goes like the weather. Discipline, on the other hand, is consistent. It doesn't depend on how you feel. It doesn't require inspiration. It's a system you follow, a decision you make every single day. And the secret to consistency is to start small. You don't have to overhaul your entire life overnight. Start with one small commitment, something so simple that it's almost impossible to fail. It might be waking up 30 minutes earlier, reading 10 pages of a book, or dedicating 15 minutes a day to your dream. Small wins build momentum, and momentum fuels consistency. The more you stay consistent, the more discipline becomes your natural state of being. Discipline requires you to confront your excuses. Excuses are the enemies of dreams. They sound reasonable, they sound valid, but they are nothing more than self-imposed limits. I'm too tired, I don't have time. I'll start tomorrow. These excuses are designed to keep you stuck. They allow you to justify inaction. But here's the truth: every time you give in to an excuse, you're delaying your dream. Every time you say, I'll do it later, you're telling your future self you're not a priority. Excuses feel good in the moment, but they cost you in the long run. The only way to eliminate excuses is through self accountability. Hold yourself to a higher standard. Call yourself out when you're making excuses. Be honest with yourself. You can't lie to your dreams. They know when you're not giving your best. No one is coming to rescue you. No one is going to force you to be disciplined. It's a choice only you can make. And the moment you choose to stop tolerating your excuses, you reclaim your power. Discipline is about mastering your mind. Your mind will always seek the path of least resistance. It will try to talk you out of doing hard things. It will create doubts, fears, and distractions. But you are not your mind. You are the one in control. Discipline is learning to quiet the inner voice of doubt and override it with action. It's about understanding that your mind works for you, not against you. The thoughts that tell you to quit, to give up, to delay, they are not facts. They are suggestions. And you have the power to reject them. Every time you overcome the mental resistance, you strengthen your mind. You become mentally tougher, more resilient, more unshakable. The stronger your mind becomes, the easier it is to stay disciplined. When you master your mind, you master your life. You become immune to distractions. You no longer react to every impulse or desire. You stay focused on the bigger picture because you know that every moment of discipline today is a step toward the dream you're building. Discipline demands sacrifice. You can't have it all. You can't chase every desire, indulge every craving, and still expect to achieve your dreams. Something has to be left behind. It might be sacrificing sleep, sacrificing leisure time, or sacrificing the approval of others. Most people aren't willing to sacrifice, and that's why most people don't achieve their dreams. But if you want something extraordinary, you have to give up something ordinary. The sacrifices you make today will pay dividends tomorrow. Every time you sacrifice comfort for growth, you're making a deposit into your future success. The party you skip, the binge watch session you avoid, the easy path you refuse to take, these sacrifices add up. They compound. The world tells you to treat yourself, to take it easy, but that advice leads to mediocrity. Discipline says, pay the price now so you can live the life you desire later. Sacrifice isn't a punishment, it's an investment. It's the price of admission to your dream life. The key to mastering discipline is to attach it to a vision greater than yourself. If you're only focused on short-term goals, discipline will feel like a chore. But if you have a compelling vision of the future you want to create, discipline becomes easier. When you can see, feel, and experience that future in your mind, you're willing to endure the present struggle. You're willing to stay disciplined because you know what's at stake. Vision pulls you forward. It reminds you of why you started. It becomes the fuel that keeps you going when nothing else does. Discipline without vision is drudgery. Discipline with vision is purpose. If you feel like discipline is too hard, it's not because you lack willpower, it's because you lack clarity. Get clear on your dream. See it in your mind's eye. Feel it with every part of your being. And then ask yourself, what am I willing to do today to bring this vision to life? That question alone will guide you to discipline. Failure is not the opposite of discipline, it's part of the process. People think discipline means perfection, but that's a myth. You will slip up. You will slip up. You will miss a day. You will make mistakes. But discipline isn't about never failing, it's about getting back on track. Every time you fall, you have a choice: stay down or rise up. True discipline is found in the ability to rise up again and again. It's in the decision to keep going even after setbacks. No one succeeds without failure, and no one maintains discipline without moments of weakness. But the people who achieve their dreams understand that failure is feedback, not a final destination. They don't quit because of one bad day. They don't throw away weeks of progress because of one mistake. They recommit. They remind themselves of their purpose, and they get back on track. This is what separates the disciplined from the undisciplined. The disciplined understand that the path to greatness is not a straight line. It's filled with ups, downs, setbacks, and breakthroughs. But every time you rise from failure, you become stronger, wiser, and more determined. Discipline is not a gift, it's a skill. No one is born disciplined. It's not reserved for a special few. It's a muscle you develop over time. Every day you practice discipline, that muscle grows. Every time you resist temptation, you strengthen it. Every moment you choose to do what's hard instead of what's easy, you're training yourself for greatness. And just like any muscle, the more you train it, the easier it becomes. What once felt impossible becomes second nature. What once required effort becomes effortless. This is the power of discipline. It transforms you into a person who does what others won't, so you can live a life that others can't. The more disciplined you become, the less you rely on motivation. You become unstoppable, unshakable, and unbreakable. Success requires relentless focus, and that focus must be aimed at your own path, not someone else's. Too many people get caught up in comparisons, measuring their progress against others, and questioning their own journey. But every time you shift your focus outward, you lose sight of your own growth. Focusing on yourself means understanding that your journey is unique, your timing is different, and your purpose is personal. No two people walk the same path, and no two dreams unfold the same way. This is why it's dangerous to compare. Comparison kills progress. It shifts your attention from what you're building to what someone else has built. It creates doubt, frustration, and insecurity. And the more you compare, the more you drain the energy you need to build your dream. To succeed, you must protect your focus. You must block out the noise, the opinions, and the distractions that try to pull you away from your purpose. Focus is a skill, not a feeling. It's something you train yourself to do day after day. When you focus on yourself, you reclaim your power. You stop being a victim of circumstances and become the creator of your reality. Too many people give their power away by blaming others, blaming the world, or blaming the past. But the moment you focus inward, you realize that you have everything you need to create the life you want. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to hand you success. It's entirely up to you. And this realization is liberating. It gives you control. Instead of waiting for things to change, you start changing them yourself. You start making better decisions, building better habits, and taking intentional action. Focus on yourself, and you'll discover strength you didn't know you had. You'll find the courage to pursue dreams that once felt impossible. You'll see opportunities where others see obstacles. The world may not change, but your perspective will. And with a new perspective comes new possibilities. Self-focus requires you to master your mind. The mind is naturally distracted, constantly jumping from thought to thought. If you let it, it will lead you in every direction except forward. To achieve success, you must become the master of your mind, not its servant. You must train it to stay focused on your goals, not on doubts, fears, or other people's lives. This requires intention and awareness. The moment you notice your mind drifting into doubt or comparison, you must pull it back. Remind yourself of your goals, your dreams, and your purpose. Visualization is a powerful tool for this. When you visualize the life you want, you give your mind a clear destination. It knows where to go, and it stops wandering. Instead of chasing every passing thought, you stay locked in on the one that matters most. This mental clarity gives you an edge. While others are distracted by trends, gossip, and social media, you're focused on growth, progress, and success. Focusing on yourself requires you to develop patience. Patience is the ability to stay calm, committed, and consistent even when results are delayed. Most people quit because they want instant results. They want success now, not later. But dreams don't follow deadlines. They require time, effort, and persistence. When you focus on yourself, you learn to trust the process. You understand that growth takes time and progress isn't always visible. You plant seeds, water them, and trust that they'll grow. The problem is that most people stop watering their seeds because they don't see immediate results. But every great success is the result of unseen effort. It's the work you do in the dark that creates the light of success. Patience is what allows you to keep going when it seems like nothing is happening. It's what keeps you focused on the long term, not the short term. People who focus on themselves are patient because they know that true success is never rushed. It's built brick by brick, step by step, moment by moment. Focusing on yourself requires you to set boundaries. Not everyone will support your journey. Not everyone will understand your vision. And not everyone deserves access to your energy. When you focus on yourself, you have to protect your energy from negativity, doubt, and distraction. This means saying no to people, habits, and situations that pull you away from your goals. It means walking away from relationships that drain you. It means prioritizing your mental health and emotional well being. Boundaries are not selfish, they're essential. If you give all your energy to others, you'll have nothing left for yourself. To succeed, you have to be your own biggest supporter. You have to believe in your dreams so deeply that you're willing to protect it at all costs. Boundaries are the shield that guards your dream. Without them, you're constantly at the mercy of other people's opinions, demands, and distractions. With boundaries, you create a space where your dream can grow without interference. Focusing on yourself requires you to embrace growth over perfection. Too often, people wait for the perfect moment, the perfect idea, or the perfect plan before they start. But perfection is an illusion. It doesn't exist. If you wait for perfection, you'll wait forever. The people who succeed are not the ones who wait for perfection, they are the ones who take action despite imperfection. They understand that growth comes from progress, not perfection. Every step forward, no matter how small, brings you closer to your dream. When you focus on yourself, you shift from a perfectionist mindset to a growth mindset. You stop asking, is this perfect? And start asking, am I growing? Every mistake becomes a lesson. Every setback becomes feedback. You learn, you adjust, and you keep moving forward. This approach frees you from the fear of failure. It gives you the courage to try, fail, and try again. Growth over perfection means progress over paralysis. It means choosing action over hesitation. It means trusting that you'll figure it out as you go, not waiting until you have all the answers. To focus on yourself, you have to take control of your environment. The people, places, and habits in your life shape your focus. If you're surrounded by negativity, doubt, and distraction, it's hard to stay locked in on your dreams. But if you create an environment that supports growth, focus becomes effortless. Your environment should be a reflection of your goals. If you want to succeed, surround yourself with people who inspire you, challenge you, and hold you accountable. If you want to stay focused, eliminate distractions, remove temptations, and design a space where work and creativity thrive. Your phone, your social media, your habits, they all affect your ability to focus. Take control of them. Set limits, create routines, and stick to them. This is how you create an environment that supports success. You won't always be motivated, but if your environment is designed for focus, you'll stay consistent. Your environment should remind you every day of your dream. When you focus on yourself, you stop seeking validation from others. The need for validation is one of the biggest distractions from success. People want to be liked, approved of, and accepted. But if you base your decisions on other people's opinions, you'll never live your truth. Your dream is yours, not theirs. Your purpose is yours, not theirs. No one else needs to understand it, agree with it, or support it. Focusing on yourself means detaching from the need for validation. It means doing what's right for you, even when others don't understand. It means trusting your intuition, following your passion, and taking action in alignment with your higher self. Validation is a trap. It keeps you small, silent, and stuck. But the moment you realize that you don't need anyone else's approval, you're free. You're free to dream bigger, take risks, and pursue what truly matters. You stop worrying about what others think, and you start focusing on what you think. This shift is powerful because it gives you back your authority. It puts you in control of your life. Focusing on yourself is not selfish, it's essential. If you don't prioritize your growth, no one else will. If you don't chase your dreams, no one will chase them for you. People often feel guilty for focusing on themselves, but guilt is misplaced. Taking care of yourself, your mind, your goals, and your dreams is the most selfless thing you can do. When you grow, you inspire others to grow. When you succeed, you become a blueprint for others to follow. Your success doesn't just benefit you, it benefits your family, your community, and everyone who witnesses your journey. When you focus on yourself, you become the example of what's possible. You show others that dreams can be achieved, goals can be reached, and purpose can be fulfilled. The world needs more people who are focused on their purpose. The world needs more people who are willing to pursue their dreams. When you focus on yourself, you give others permission to do the same.